Rakul, Arjun, Kaashvie. How are you all doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you're all keeping safe. Lovely to connect with all of you.
Likewise.
Thank you for speaking to us, Shilpa.
Thank you for speaking to me, guys. And I want to start off with you, Arjun. It's Sardar ka grandson. You are the grandson. It's a
Yes.
full-on Punjabi film. And I think you must have had a lot of fun exploring the Punjabi side of it. All the jokes are typically Punjabi. There's a lot of Punjabi emotions. I know, Rakul, you're also Punjabi. So talk to me
Oh,
about that.
I would like to believe it's a pretty universal film. I hope you don't
It is.
alienate
It
by
is.
saying
It is universal.
Punjab. But
No,
I
it's
get what you're
Punjabi.
saying. Yeah, it's मतलब वो जो रायता पंजाबी household में typically फैलता है वो visually इस film में दिखाई दे रहा है definitely. And I got to relive it in many ways is what I've experienced or explored in my own household growing up. So you relive certain memories. Even Sardar, for that matter, as a character, is how my nani was. Always very, very feisty. So yeah, in many ways, growing up in a joint family, when you hear a film like Sardar Ka Grandson, you kind of connect. You might not say मैंने exactly वही देखा है बड़े होते हुए because I've lived in Mumbai all my life. But yeah, definitely an understanding about the madness, the love, the chaos that ensues in a Punjabi or in an Indian household for that matter.
Yeah, fair enough. And Rakul, well, how was the experience of working with Arjun, who I hear is a madcap on the sets?
Oh, he's more than a madcap, I'd say. He is, I think, uh, the most funny co-star that I've ever worked with. In a good way, though. I think he helped keep the environment really lighthearted on set, and he would keep joking all the time, keep pulling everyone's leg. His sense of humor is just, I mean, I'm praising him, but his sense of humor is probably one of the best that I've seen around. Like, he is just non-stop bickering, non-stop, and you don't mind it. You're like, oh wow, and you're just laughing. And Kaashvie will agree to that because she was more the target than anybody else on set. But it was amazing working with him, and I think it just helps in breaking the ice and just being yourself. And that credit goes to Arjun for sure. It was amazing working with him.
Well, Kaashvie, you made your directorial debut with Rakul and Arjun. Do you also have to say nice things about them?
Oh, I have fantastic things to say about that.
We bribed her. We said,
Does she have a
Kaashvie,
choice as of right now?
I know.
I wouldn't have it any other
At
way.
all intimidated directing them?
First day I met Arjun, after he said yes to the film, he messaged me, like really this thing saying that if you do anything wrong, I'll complain to Nikhil. So I was like, really, that's not how it starts off. So yeah, I think he always knows how to break the ice. And for me, they were always the characters and something that I'd always envisioned for what I saw these characters as. So I think like on set was beyond a blast. You never really thought you were shooting, you were just sitting there through a sitcom where you have two people going at it with each other.
But you
But
also
see, the irony is it's a very difficult film to make, and the fact that we have good memories attached to it means that somehow the journey feels worth it.
yeah, it must have been difficult in a sense because there's a huge cast. There are a lot of kind of storylines going on, and a great cast as well. You have Neena Gupta there, everyone's favorite now, and understandably. So, is she like feisty, like her character?
She is exactly the character. She literally is exactly the character. When she reaches, she will still be exactly like that. So yeah, again, a massively amazing fit, which I think we got very lucky with. And I mean, everybody in the cast kind of just came together.
Arjun Singh, John Abraham, Aditya Rao Hydari. So you did have like quite a few known names in your first film. How did you manage that?
I mean, all thanks to Nikhil Advani, who just went out saying, "This is all film. Do it." No, but honestly, I think what really worked to bring everybody on board is the script. I mean, the one line always got someone hooked, and the minute they read the script, everybody has universally turned down and said, "We're doing the film." So it just thankfully worked out well for us.
And when did you shoot this film?
We actually shot it just December 2019, before the pandemic hit, before we even knew that something called Corona existed. And we had a lovely shoot for about 2.5 months until Corona hit.
And
then
then
we
did
had
you pause, and then did you resume after Corona, or
we had about 15 days of shoots still left. So once I think we were one of the few people to start around September, and taking all precautions possible, we managed to pull off those 15 days and get the film ready eventually.
No, right, okay, that's amazing, and it's all safe. But guys, you shot this, as I hear, after Corona, after the first wave, perhaps. So how was that shooting on the sets? I think it must have been one of the earlier films that was shot.
Yeah, it
So,
was.
I guess we had already completed most of the film, so we came with a little less stress about the film. It was more about the safety. We knew we were just filling in the blanks. So, if you've seen the film, we actually the flashback got shot after the first wave, and the Wagah border bits where we cross over, there are a few bits of that. And then Rakul and my romantic bit at the beginning. So it was like smaller chunks, So we at least knew कि फिल्म हमारे हाथ में है सेफ्टी का ध्यान रखते हुए you go and do 3-4 days 3-4 days 3-4 days and you give enough time for people to make sure that things are secure. So when we shot the flashback, it was in an isolated set in Film City for a few days. Then when we did mine and Rakul's romantic portion, we did it in a chunk of 3 to 4 days, and the Wagah border was that 1-2 days if I remember correctly. So the advantage at that point was that we were able to control and do it effectively. We didn't have to have too many people on set. It's a difficult film, so at that point, thankfully, we had complete. Imagine doing Kabutar Wali Gali after COVID would have been impossible. We had already completed that. The gully and the truck, most of it was done. So we were fortunate that we were able to put it together. But obviously, we tried to make sure all the protocols were followed, and we came out all good with it.
Well, the movie looks all good, but Rakul, as an actor, when you have to take additional safety precautions on set, this much protocol happening, are you able to give it your 100%?
Of course, there's a little fear, that because it's not just you might be okay with it, but then you could be a carrier for people who might not be able to handle it in the same way. But I guess, when the team sets the rules right and all the precautions are taken and everyone's tested, we were testing regularly, and I think mentally we were all very comfortable, and we knew that, okay, this is a bubble and these are only a handful of people who are shooting, because like Arjun said, it wasn't too much, not too many people on set. And now I shot an entire different film also after COVID. But when you know that the team's taking with proper care and there's due diligence being done on set, then part of your stress is gone. And I am personally a person who feels that, okay, now that I'm here, I need to disconnect with the fear and then just be. Because life has to go on, and we're supposed to adapt to the new normal. Of course, it's a little weird to see people in masks, and I remember the first day we walked in on Sardar ka grandson set, I was like, oh my god, everyone's in a mask, and then you can't hug, and you don't know whether you're giving a fist bump or you're shaking hands, but then the first thing you ask, it's so strange, is tested, okay, yeah, hi, what's up, so it's so strange, but then you adapt to the new normal and somewhere disconnect with what's happening, and when it's action,
All right. And Arjun, sometime back, Rakul was saying you're very funny. I agree. Kaashvie agrees. So did you add any jokes to the script? Because it's like a joke, a line.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. A lot of it comes from improvising and being allowed to improvise with other actors, including Rakul and Neena ma'am and the Mehruz, the child who's playing Chote in the film. So I think the beauty of this film was the camera used to just roll, and she used to allow me to make mistakes and mumble and fumble my way through things also, because usme bhi ek maza tha to kind of find Amrik in the chaos that was created in between takes. There was a lot of times where I went off script. There's a lot of time where I've improv. There's a lot of time where I've said things that most directors would have said, why are you saying that? But she might have not kept all of it, but I think residue में 10% भी रह जाता है ना, तो it allows the actor to constantly be thinking, which is what I was happy. And what Rakul was praising me so much, which I'm very thankful about, that's all part of building the energy towards Amrik, because I used to keep the energy light as Amrik on set to feel excited about entering a scene, because most of the scenes, यार Amrik तो उसको कुछ पता ही नहीं वो क्या करने वाला है. He's a character who doesn't know his right hand from his left hand on most days, but He's somebody who stumbles into situations and doesn't know how to get out of them, but he has an ego saying, "I'll do it." So to find that energy, I had to always be a little one sur above my own personality, which came from Kaashvie allowing me and my DOP, the talented Mr. Mahendra Shetty, laughing at all my rubbish. And like there was a day I remember, I'll never forget. It was I think the last or second last day. Finally, a thermocol came on set, and it came for Rakul's close-up. So
Oh
he used
yeah,
to shoot
yeah,
without thermocol. He used to shoot
Wow.
without, too many lighting cutters. He used to use natural light. So, like, if this is the
Nice.
light, he would just use this light throughout the day. And then you would have to shoot 50, 60 shots in a day because the lighting is ready. And actors are used to taking a break in the middle to mentally calm down while the lighting happens. Then you re-energize and charge into the scene. This DOP doesn't believe in lights, obviously, because Kaashvie had spent all the money in getting the star cast together. We had no money left for lights. It was either that you can light this film or you can get the star cast. तो खैर that was a production stress. लेकिन बात ये थी कि सेट पे लाइटिंग का टाइम ही नहीं था. एक दिन एक आदमी थर्मोकॉल लेके आके रकुल के क्लोजअप के टाइम पे ऐसे खड़ा हो गया. I broke it. I said ये क्या है? मैं 50 दिन से शूट कर रहा हूँ. मेरे एक क्लोजअप पे थर्मोकॉल लेता. I broke it.
yeah. And he got so angry. He's like, only for her you put a thermocol. You want her to look better. What is this? Was it the song? I think we were shooting.
It was
a
the
song.
breakup. We were fighting. No, it's the
Breakup,
fight. It
correct.
was the fight.
The
It
fight.
was when you're supposed to
Correct,
leave the house. Literally
Yeah.
the most serious scene of the relationship. And I was like, Arey, but how the F can you put a bloody the thermocol up for her? Her face will look better when she's breaking up and I look like shit.
Yeah, but Rakul's already, she lights up the screen, so it's unfair for her to have another advantage. Yeah,
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
Oh, thank you.
I agree with you absolutely, guys. This is an Indo-Pak film, a cross-border film. So Kaashvie, when writing it, were there any apprehensions at all? Because you know how it is with Pakistan. Sometimes it can just spiral into a controversy by just mentioning the country's name.
I think what we've also tried to do in the film is not like skim over it in a way, because the film isn't about Indo-Pak at the end of the day. It is about the emotion that the lady has about the house left behind, and it is about the emotion of a grandson fulfilling his grandmother's wish. So we were very conscious of the fact that it didn't matter to us whether it was Indo-Pak. It could have been anywhere, but obviously rehabilitation with partition is a very important part of our history. And also, I think it's time we kind of live in a world without borders. So let's not harp about things that don't need harping upon.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I completely agree with you. But as actors, Rakul and Arjun, when you see a script with, something about Pakistan, Indo-Pak, even if you're promoting peace and even if you're promoting cross-border friendship, it can very easily become controversial. So as actors, what is the first thing that comes to you in your mind?
I think you have to respect that your audience is sensible enough to know why the intent to do the film. Your conscience has to be very clear and you have to believe that your audience will latch on to it. Our film deals with the human aspect of, regardless of where you stay, your emotions are universal. And our film could have been based anywhere else. Like Kaashvie said, we've chosen to base it in a circumstance which makes the journey difficult for the boy. It has nothing to do with how the people there make it difficult. It is just the circumstances create difficulty because there is red tape, there is diplomacy, there is bureaucracy in place. It just creates more cinematic obstacles, and just the thought of crossing one country to another to fulfill your grandmother's wish, I feel, is a very cinematic visual. At no point does our film harp about the people on the other side being a certain way, which I really love. There's a line in the film which I look at Kumud Mishra at one point and say कि आप चाहे जैसे भी हो, आपके मुल्क के लोग बहुत अच्छे. And that is there are, every part of every world has certain people that behave a certain way, but in majority I believe in goodness of people. I believe that we exist in a vacuum of positivity where certain negativity does fester and it spreads very fast these days because that is what sells. But I feel, if, like I said, if your intent is right, and I feel our film's intent is right, we might not be speaking out with a loud mic and talking about how the film speaks about humanity. But I feel if you see this film, if you have the sensitivity to respect the film, and if you understand where the film comes from, this film is way beyond Indo-Pak. This film is about your grandparents, the grandchildren, family. It's more important to appreciate that aspect of the film rather than look at it from that gaze कि हम वो चीज देख के उसको उछालें.
Okay, fair
अब
enough.
वहां पे मैं ये मानता हूँ कि you have to respect your audience and believe that they have the sensitivity and sensibility to understand.
Fair enough. And Rakul, what was the appeal of the film for you? It has a very emotional core. I also find the dialogue very modern. It's very fast-paced. It's very entertaining. It's a feel-good film. But personally, as an actor, what was the appeal?
I think it was very personal. The biggest appeal was that it was very personal. My own grandfather, my dad's father, always had this last wish to visit Pakistan. So both my grandparents came from Pakistan during partition, and they were very young, but my dadu was about 12, 13 years old, and he has told us a lot of stories. Okay, so stories about his school, stories about his mohalla and all of that. And ever since, when in our growing up years, he would, every time we would meet in summer vacations, he would tell us stories and say, and I know that he had that wish, but my dad was serving in the Indian Army and we couldn't take him. So when I heard the script, I just felt like, oh my god, this is a story of my house, and it would be of so many other houses as well. So many other people might want to go back, but or they feel that way. So I felt that the script really emotionally touched me, and I just felt that I had to be a part of something like this, which could possibly connect with people on the larger scale. So yeah.
Yeah, that is a very personal reason. Yeah, and it's a beautiful connect to the film as well. Definitely. And thank you guys. I had a lot of fun chatting with all of you and
Thank
finding
you.
out about the film. And Rakul, especially, I'm very surprised to know about your personal connect to the film. That is very heartwarming, kind of completes the circle. And thank you all so
Thank
much
you.
for talking to me today.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Shilpa. Thank you. Take care. Stay safe.
Arjun, you're having a great hair day, I want to say before I leave.
We were just discussing his hair before you stepped in. Yes, absolutely. He's giving me
He's
competition
giving
now.
us a compliment.
He's
Look
giving
at
me
that
competition.
costume. Yeah, amazing. Take care.
लाकर भतीजा अनिल कपूर का हूँ, ऐसे कैसा हो सकता है कि बाल अच्छे नहीं लगे.
Bye, guys.